Howdy, folks. Welcome to the show. Happy you're here, and I hope you've been having a great day, and I hope you continue to through and after this video. I'm going to talk about watching the Oilers game from last night. You probably already saw the score. Edmonton won in a barn burner 8-4, and even though the final score was a 4-goal lead, it ended up being a comfortable win. It didn't always feel that way, and I'll jump right into that. My thoughts was Detroit has enough talent to win, and because they have been winning too, so we shouldn't underestimate them. But I felt like at least we should be able to control the game because Detroit is not good enough in controlling shots. Edmonton is. That didn't happen. Detroit actually outshot us 38-36. But at the end of the day, they didn't get all those shots through. Skinner had a better night than his save percentage suggests, even though he was below 900. He still had a good night. Could have been better. It's one of those games where there's so much to talk about. It just kind of all comes together, and there's not much to talk about. Usually I use these videos as an opportunity to talk about the finer things of the game, but you can get a pretty good idea of what happened if you just look at the highlights. There's not too much to comment on the smaller things because it was a 12-goal game. But so yeah, let's jump into this. Detroit got off hot early, I should say, and that was a bit concerning. And so while I am concerned that we allowed Detroit to get 38 shots, and impressed that we ourselves got 36, but I felt we're better than that. But again, the importance of scoring, and we did that, and we started early. We started early because of, well, who else? Cody Ceci. He gets an assist and a goal in less than a 3-minute Gotta get that out. 3-minute span. I almost said stan. Span is the word. Because of course he's an offensive menace. He assists Draisaitl's game-opening goal, and then gets his own, and that just blows everyone away because that's his first in nearly 130 games. It was last time he scored was early last regular season, so it's awesome to see him on the board, and it was good to see him. And I would love to have named him as one of the 3 stars for tonight, because I don't often get much opportunity to. But he would not end up one of the 3 stars, in my opinion. Though I did name him last week, but that was more, or not last week, last game, but that was more of by default of not being as bad as everyone else. But still, so great start. Oilers start off 2-0. Ville Husso started for the Red Wings. It was his first game in like over a month. But he injured himself on the Draisaitl goal before Alex Lyon came in. I was a little worried because Alex Lyon has been having a really good season and almost stole the game last time we played him. But having CC score puts those columns at ease. It's like, okay, we're going to score today. And we did. We really did. But Detroit would add their own on the power play. Detroit would go 2 for 3 on the power play, because which adds to the concern is that the penalty kill is not as consistent as it was. We knew it wasn't going to be like perfect like it was nearly perfect during the winning streak, but not this bad. It's starting to become a recurring theme in the last few games. But yeah, so Edmonton scrapes by for a 2-1 lead in the first, but it would be tied at 3 by the end of the second. Bouchard scored. That was assisted by McDavid and Nugent Hopkins, who would not, and all 3 of those guys would not be done getting on the board. And before Detroit added 2 goals. Again, one of them was on the power play. So Patrick Kane has a goal and assist by that point, which, as a fan of his, it's good to see him doing that. But as an Oilers fan, he could have waited to do that on the next game or something, or whatever. But anyways, so third period starts. Kind of wondering what's going to go on because we haven't been controlling the game as well as I think we should. But it's tied at 3. Alex Lyon isn't going to steal the game, even though he's not playing bad. A lot of the goals were pretty high talent goals, and Skinner wasn't playing great, but he was playing good. And I didn't have too much complaints with Skinner. You can, if this is his worst game that he's had in a couple months, that's great because it really wasn't that bad. It was just, eh. So, anyways, but we 44 seconds in, Holloway scores after a wonderful play from McDavid and Bouchard. He pokes in an empty net on his belly, diving across the ice and puts it in. And it's great to see him on the board. And I love watching him. He's fun to watch. And it'll be fun to watch as he starts putting more in the back of the net whenever that comes along. But he's young. It's fine. Oilers keep it on. Because McDavid and Bouchard, I said, weren't done yet. They both hit milestones on that Holloway goal. McDavid got his 600th assist. I think he's 5th fastest doing that. And Bouchard got his 100th assist. And then Bouchard and McDavid would assist the next goal by Nuge. And then Hyman would score from Draisaitl. And then McDavid would have a spinorama to assist Kane. Desharnais also picked up an assist on that one. And then Detroit scored because they didn't want to feel left out. But it was still the Edmonton Oilers period. As Nuge would add his second, assisted by McDavid. And that would end the game 8-4. And it really didn't feel like we were going to blow them out. The final score looked like, wow, a blowout. You allowed 4 goals, but hey, you still scored twice as many as the other team, and that's 8 goals is a lot. But it was tight for quite a while until it wasn't, and that Holloway goal set the tone for the Oilers in the third period, and they just kept scoring. There was a point after the Evander Kane goal. The fans were cheering pretty loud because it was in Edmonton. The game was in Edmonton. And as if we had just won the game. And it's like, wow, there's still lots of time left on the third period. There was still 6 minutes left at that point. Was Detroit going to score 3 goals? Probably not, and they wouldn't. But, still don't get cocky. And Oilers kind of got a little cocky, and fans got super cocky, and Detroit would, as I said, score from Perron. And so it's like, well, dang, Skinner was holding us in it for so long, and now we kind of took away his 900 save percentage game away from him, and he'll have to handle with just below that, which he's still at 909, so pretty good. But yeah, anyways, it's one of those interesting games where the Oilers didn't really play good enough to win 8-4, but they still won 8-4. And that's what matters, is what actually happened. So it's hard to complain about a game that you win 8-4, but there were a lot of lessons to take away from that game, which is good. You don't want to get super cocky going away from a game. There's lots for the Oilers to look at in film and see what they can do better. And it's good to be able to learn from your wins so that you don't have to lose to learn, because everybody does, but if you can learn from your wins too, then you don't have to lose so much. But yeah, the stats were pretty even. Besides face-off, Edmonton controlled just over 60% of those. Edmonton scored all 8 of their goals on even strength. Sorry, didn't even have a power play opportunity. Again, I mentioned their penalty kill wasn't up to snuff. So yeah, I'm sure Oilers will look more at their penalty kill, what they can do better there, and just kind of how to stop a lot of the high-end plays from Detroit, because that's how their offense is generated. They're not good at generating a lot of shots because they allow so much. There's not much. Their defense doesn't leave much time for their offense to get a lot of shots, but their offense doesn't need a lot of shots either. But yeah, so very impressed from a lot of players. My 3 stars, I'll just pull that up here. Yeah, again, I like to highlight defensive players, and I did have a defender here, but it was more for his offense. So I would have loved, as I said, to name CC, but when you have an 8-goal game, you kind of all have to go off of offense, because that's what defined the game. First star kind of has to be McDavid. You probably heard about it. He got 6 assists. It was the first time in his career. It's the 5th time in NHL history that a player notched 6 assists, but only the 4th time in Oilers history, because Wayne Gretzky did it 3 times. Because of course he did. Why wouldn't he? and he was a +6 too, which, as plus minus isn't a perfect stat, you can't play bad and have a +6. After that, I had Nugent Hopkins because he had 2 goals and an assist. He was a +3, and he played the body a bit. Could have been better on defense, but that was kind of the story for the whole team. And same with Bouchard, but he also had 3 points. He had a goal and 2 assists, and his 100th assist milestone, as mentioned before, and he was still a +3. So, yeah, great game from the top line with McDavid, Nuge, and Hyman. And I keep saying it could have been more efficient, but if you're scoring 2 goals for every one you allow, that's still pretty good. And so at the end of the day, Oilers won. It was a fun game to watch, and we'll look to see how they perform against St. Louis tomorrow night. And I'm not sure if I'll get another video again tonight or tomorrow, but whenever that video is, I'll see you then. Have a great rest of your day, and bye-bye for now.